As the old saying goes, if you die in comics, you're still alive in comics. Because through the convolution of comics and sometimes just lazy writing by the people in charge, anybody can come back from the dead. In live action, it's a little bit more complex, but it can and does happen. So let's talk about the Sun King himself, Arthur Harrow from Moon Knight, and the latest update from Ethan Hawke in regards to a possible return. So again, this is coming at us directly from Ethan Hawke himself, who recently got to sit down and talk to The Playlist, where he looked on and reflected upon his character in Moon Knight, and specifically how Oscar Isaac convinced him to turn around on his hatred and opinion of comic book movies and TV shows. And if you guys don't remember, a couple of years ago, he was very critical and absolutely wanted nothing to do with them, but of course, things changed. So recently he talked about his experience doing Moon Knight, saying that he had a wonderful time working with Marvel Studios and Oscar because of the plot and what they had to do. And he believes that, like the comics, it doesn't mean that just because you're dead, that you're gonna die. And he also references how Moon Knight and also Marvel very much plays with this as well, saying that there's always twists and turns and things that you can do differently. And he says that as far as he's concerned, and as far as he knows, his character is dead, but as long as the storytellers have wonderful ideas like they did in the first season, there's constantly ways that you can pull it off and bring the character back. And he says that if you look at what Marvel is currently doing, there's plenty of things that they could do. One thing for me that really sticks out would be flashbacks to Jake. Did he ever interact with Arthur, and Arthur never revealed it? Because you could also take that angle with it, which would be really interesting. And also retconning other elements that could potentially work in their favor as well, I think would be really interesting. I mean, there's tons that you can do in terms of where the character was before, carrying on his legacy, and also the easiest thing they could ever do would be the multiverse, which at this point, those suggestions are just kind of lazy and not even creative, and I don't think they would come back for something that lazy. But again, there's so much. There's things that they could say happened that we didn't see that finally give us a new insight and new light into what is going on with this world and everything that's happening. So again, I do believe that there's elements here that they could really explore and play with that aren't exactly superficial or forced, or almost like they're trying hard, because the whole mental psyche thing allows you to do anything. For all we know, he could become something that constantly haunts one of the personas, and that way you could do something real interesting with it, almost like how Dexter did it with maybe season 2. I don't remember, but they did it and they did it good.